I'm not even that old yet. But so many of my decisions are starting to feel like these monumental, irreversible choices. I guess that just means I have to be a bit more careful before I make them. Okay, let's go, girl. Let's go, come on. 2 years. 2 years of traveling full-time, and Felicia and I decided it was probably time to change things up a little bit. We thought maybe we'd try out a little bit more of a regular life, whatever that actually means. It depends on a bunch of different things, including what your definition of travel actually is. If you Google it, it says to go from one place to another, typically over a distance or some length. Got it. So once again, what does that actually mean? Does it mean that you can't stay in one place for more than a few days, or every other week you've got to be on a plane flying to some new country? See, the thing is, I've never actually even been to Australia before, so you could basically consider this travel still. And this isn't even my dog, but she's pretty cute. As you can see, I also had to give her treats to be on camera. Good job, Lulu. Wait, which shoe? No, I think I'm good. Unless, no, I didn't get it. I'm safe. Just stepped in dog poop. We're house sitting here now in a pretty typical Melbourne neighborhood, trying to live what some people, or even myself, would say is a pretty ordinary life. Although I've never taken care of chickens before, so for me, that's not really ordinary. But what does it actually mean to live an ordinary life? Well, if you look it up on Google, it basically just means with no distinctive or special features, normal. The dog just bumped my tripod, sorry. She makes a great filming partner too. So what do either of these two things actually mean? And probably the most important question is, which lifestyle is actually better? Now, the first step to becoming a full-time traveler is you've got to get rid of about 90–95% of everything you own. Your entire life now has to fit into one of these. Now you can use a suitcase if you want, but the benefit of a backpack, it's quite a bit more mobile. But essentially this means no more nice fancy cocktail dresses. You're not gonna be polishing up your beautiful leather boots for that fancy dinner. Now you just wear dusty old Chucks to everything. Riding your motorbike, going to the market, you got a hot date, this is all you got. But I see all these travelers and Instagrammers and YouTubers, they're wearing... I like to wear fancy clothes when I travel. Yeah, well, okay, unless you're Moneybags McGee and you can replace your wardrobe every month when you have to move somewhere, I'm not really sure how you could do that. It's just not really feasible. And come to think of it, that's why I'm gonna share my definition of full-time travel. Full-time travel is when someone does not own a home, they don't really plan on owning a home, and in terms of how long they stay in a place, well, they never really do it for long-term, more than 4 to 6 months maybe. But why on earth would anyone want to live like this? Well, there's a lot of ways you could describe this lifestyle, but for me, there's one word in particular that I think best encapsulates everything. And that word is... freedom! So fresh, so new. Freedom! When you're traveling full-time, you've got nothing holding you in place. No car payments, no mortgage, winter electricity bills, nothing. You're free to be wherever you want, whenever you want. You're free to try new foods, meet new people, experience something new every single day. You can also just sit in your hotel that's probably about 1/20th the cost of a modern day mortgage. That all sounds really amazing, and I know people who have been living like that for the last decade. But there is a way of living that most people would argue is a little bit more normal. And as someone who's in the midst of this shift, I too would kind of like to know, what is an ordinary life? This one's also going to heavily depend on who you ask. We all have a different kind of ordinary. For me, ordinary is just having a routine and a community of friends, colleagues. Maybe it's just going to the same shop to buy your groceries for years.
Why you do this?
Could also be things like saving some of your money for the future. A car, maybe a house, a holiday, or even starting a family. Families aren't cheap. Even just sitting on the couch and reading a book, knowing that tomorrow is gonna bring mostly the same shit you experienced yesterday. It's actually really nice. But with two lifestyles that could not be more diametrically opposed to one another, which lifestyle is the best one? I really hope you guys didn't think I'd actually be able to give you the answer to that question. What I can do, though, is give you my opinion as someone who's lived both lifestyles pretty recently. Of course, they both come with their positives and negatives. I mean, traveling full-time can be pretty lonely, even if you are traveling with your partner like I just was these past 2 years. Friendships are a lot harder to come by, especially really meaningful ones, and even the ones you do make, the likelihood of you guys really being in the same country or city for more than a few months is pretty rare. So finding a community and feeling like you're a part of something is not an easy thing to accomplish. Another thing my partner and I have both discussed is the feeling of kind of just floating. You're just cruising along. Sometimes it doesn't really feel like you're actually building towards anything in the future, whatever that might be. But then on the other hand, if you're living a more ordinary life, then I think a lot of people nowadays feel like they're trapped in a cage that they crawled into themselves. They're up to their nostrils in bills of cars and houses, whatever it is. They feel like they're being held down and pinned to the floor by stuff that, you know, at the time maybe felt like a good idea, but now is holding them back from doing the things they really want to do. So while I always yearn for the unpredictability and spontaneity that comes with being a full-time traveler, the joy that all of that freedom brings, on the other hand, I also find myself longing for a sense of community. Simple stuff like having a barbecue on a Sunday with some friends that I've known for years. Even the gym. Having to switch gyms every month or two is such a pain in the ass, and so nice when you can finally just find a good gym, whether it's martial arts or, you know, whatever, just picking up heavy shit. There's a lot of things that just aren't really possible with full-time travel. This definitely seems like the cop-out answer because it is, but both are better. I mean, look, you can try and be like me and balance these two lifestyles horribly. I don't know that I've done a really good job, but yeah, I don't think I'd recommend that. But man, it's hard to pick one, I'll tell you that much. There's one thing for certain I wouldn't recommend though, and that is listening to what anyone has to say about how you should want to live or should be living. I see nowadays, I don't know if it's just me getting targeted or what, by all these folks saying, well, if you're not working from your laptop poolside or on a beach and eating fancy cheese and meat in Paris every week, then you're not living, right? 9 to 5 is shitty in your suburb, your life sucks. Super not true, and yeah, it's a shame those people are so successful. I don't know who's buying their shit, but don't listen to them. Or your parents, or your friends, or your uncle. Just live the life that you feel feels good. I don't know if any of that made sense, but I hope it did. But yeah, I think that's it. See you guys in the next one. Peace.